Hi, I'm Enchanting Nubianette. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the untimely passing of Joseph Boutros, a student at Salve Regina University. It's one of those tragedies that stops you cold because it feels so ordinary. And that is exactly what makes it so devastating. There was no reckless decision, no dangerous stunt, and no obvious warning signs. Just a young college student sitting in his car, charging his phone after a blizzard, trying to get through another winter day. Within minutes, an invisible danger turned routine into irreversible loss. After the major snowstorm last weekend, Joseph sat inside his parked vehicle with the engine running while his phone charged. What he likely did not realize was that snow had packed tightly into the vehicle's tailpipe. That blockage prevented exhaust gases from escaping properly. Instead, carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless, tasteless gas, flowed back into the car's cabin. Carbon monoxide poisoning does not announce itself loudly. It doesn't smell like smoke or even feel like heat. It quietly replaces oxygen in the bloodstream. The brain and heart, organs that depend heavily on oxygen, begin shutting down first. Victims often become drowsy, confused, or disoriented before they understand what is happening. Many never realize they are in danger. And that is what makes this case especially heartbreaking. Joseph most likely didn't feel panic. He may have simply felt tired. So before I continue, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, YouTube family, how long did it take? Officials typically cannot determine an exact timeline in carbon monoxide passings. And in Joseph Boutros' case, no precise public time estimated has been confirmed. However, medical science gives us a clear understanding of how quickly this can happen. In a confined space like a car with high carbon monoxide levels, such as the vehicle with a blocked exhaust, dangerous exposure can occur within minutes. Symptoms can begin in 5 to 10 minutes. Unconsciousness may follow in 15 to 30 minutes. And fatality can occur shortly afterward, depending on concentration levels, ventilation, and the individual's health. In other words, this was not something that unfolded over hours. This was fast, again, quiet and ruthless. That reality is difficult to accept because it means a simple environmental condition, snow in a tailpipe, can turn deadly before a person has time to react. I also thought, YouTube family, what could have prevented this tragedy? Now, the hardest part of learning from loss is acknowledging that prevention was possible, and not to assign blame, but to save the next life.
There was one person obviously rescued in the storm, but there is tragedy amidst the blizzard. Salve Regina University is mourning the loss tonight of one of its own students who police say died in a car last night from carbon monoxide poisoning.
This is so sad. Police believe that he was in his car charging his phone. And tonight we're hearing from one of his teammates. The night team's John Perrick continues our team coverage.
You can believe it. It's hard to deal with.
A sophomore on Salve's football team.
He was progressing towards being better.
Found unconscious in a car by police officers during Monday's blizzard. Officials say the car was here, parked outside the Young Building on Salve's campus along Bellevue Ave. Newport police says carbon monoxide killed him.
It's odorless. You can't really smell it. You can't tell it's there. And you're not necessarily thinking about it because you're just trying to you're just chilling in your car. You don't necessarily think to clear out the gas pipe.
Police tell us they believe 21-year-old Joseph Boutros was in his car to charge his phone. Officers say they first found him around 7:30 p.m. Students told us the school didn't have power then.
He was a bundle of joy, you know. Always brought his personality to the room.
Christian Reese was on the offensive line with Boutros.
It was nice to see him working. I literally just saw him last Saturday. He was saying, yeah, man, I went from 290 to 270. I feel really good. I'm feeling light over the break.
Tonight, in a statement, the university's president sharing her condolences with all those who loved him.
Carbon monoxide is nothing to play around with.
At Tuesday's news conference, Rhode Island's fire marshal discussed the danger this odorless killer can have on us all.
If you feel you have an issue, call 911.
Back at Salve, the emotions are raw. Christian found out this morning.
It's hard. I plan to go to his funeral. I plan to drive all the way, if it's in Long Island, it's in freaking Seattle.
In Newport, I'm John Perrick, NBC 10 News, Night Team.
Simple environmental condition, snow in a tailpipe, can turn deadly before a person has time to react. I also thought, YouTube family, what could have prevented this tragedy? Now, the hardest part of learning from loss is acknowledging that prevention was possible and not to assign blame, but to save the next life. So these are some practical steps that could have reduced or eliminated the risk. So the obvious is, first, clearing the tailpipe after snowfall. So after heavy snow, drivers must physically check that the exhaust pipe is completely clear. Snowbanks, ice buildup, or even packed slush can block the airflow. Many people shovel around the tires, but they forget the exhaust. Yet, that small opening is so critical for survival. Second thing is avoid sitting in an idling vehicle. Running a car while parked, especially after a storm, significantly increases risk. Even partial obstruction can redirect the exhaust gases. So if charging a phone or even warming up, it is safer to do so briefly and only after confirming proper ventilation. So pull your windows down, have the door slightly open or even open all the way. Third, carbon monoxide awareness education. Most people associate carbon monoxide danger with homes and furnaces, not cars. Colleges, municipalities, and public safety campaigns can emphasize winter vehicle safety just as strongly as they emphasize smoke alarms. The fourth is portable carbon monoxide detectors. So there are small battery operated or powered CO detectors designed for travel, and they're in stores and found online now. Keeping one in a vehicle, particularly in cold weather regions, adds an extra layer of protection. The fifth on the list is community messaging after storms. Public alerts following blizzards should routinely include reminders like check your tailpipe before starting your car. A simple sentence broadcast can widely prevent tragedy. So the even bigger lesson, everyone, is Joseph Boutros' passing reminds us that safety knowledge evolves and sometimes awareness lags behind reality. Many of us grow up learning to scrape windshields and warm engines, right? But fewer are taught about exhaust blockage risk. This is a generational gap in everyday safety education, and closing that gap is now our responsibility. There is also a deeper human truth here. College represents possibility, independence, ambition, the beginning of adulthood. Joseph was living that chapter. His story should have continued into a career, relationships, and contributions yet unseen. Instead, his passing leaves behind a grieving family, classmates, and a campus forced to confront how fragile life can be. We honor lives not only through mourning, but through learning. Every winter from now on, every time someone checks their tailpipe before turning the key, Joseph's story has a power to quietly save a life, right? And that is a part we cannot overlook. Tragedy becomes purpose when awareness changes behavior. The lesson is simple, everyone, practical, and urgent. Invisible dangers require visible habits. Check the exhaust, limit idling, stay informed, and look out for one another. Because sometimes survival comes down to knowledge, measured not in textbooks or lectures, but in moments. The few critical minutes that make all the difference between going home safely and never making it back at all. So what are your thoughts on this tragedy, everyone? It's extremely sad, and may, Joseph Boutros rest in peace. My condolences to all of his family, his dear friends, college colleagues, students on the campus, the faculty as well, and his community members in Rhode Island. Very sad. And once again, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe wherever you are, and keep your head on a swivel at all times. Thank you.